Good morning and welcome back to my channel. Where to start? Well, I think this morning I'm going to start with an idea that I've had. I was speaking to Joe earlier this morning and saying, I think I'm going to do a giveaway today. So while I've been out and about at group and everything, I've been thinking about what I'd like to do. Ideally what I'd like to do is give everybody an Easter present, but that's just not possible. So what I've decided to do is something a bit different, something a bit fun, I hope. And yeah, what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask anybody who's interested in taking part in my giveaway to leave a message. You don't have to be subscribed. I think if you're under 18 you need parents' permission to give your address if you win, all that usual stuff. You don't need to subscribe, you don't need to do anything other than leave a comment. That's all I'm asking you to do. But what I would like you to comment, if you're brave enough, is your clothes size and your favourite colour. What my intention is to treat somebody with an Easter gift. What I'd like to do is take all those comments, if anybody deems to comment, take all those comments next week and select a winner. And then take the information from that winner and go out and buy them an Easter gift, which I will show you the following week, which will be the weekend before Easter. And then that prize, that present, that gift will be posted out to the winner in time for Easter. I don't want to get into selling chocolate and stuff like that. It would be lovely, but that could well ruin somebody's week or month or knock them right off plan completely. So I'm going to make it a gift that I can make as personal as possible to that person. If that makes any sense at all and you'd like to take part, please just leave a comment with your clothes size, which Joe thinks is a bit intrusive, don't you? But I can't see any other way around it. I mean, we're all in this together. We're all on a weight loss journey, whether we're at Target or on the way to Target. I assume you watch me because you're on a weight loss journey. So yeah, leave your clothes size and your favourite colour. And let's just have a bit of fun and somebody will get a gift. That's something somebody said in one of my comments a few weeks that's really struck home with me, and I love it. And it was about paying it forward. You know, if you want to be generous and you want to be kind and you want to, I suppose for me it's like live a decent life. That in life we can pay things forward, and it's not all about money, it's not all about buying people presents and stuff like that. It's about love and it's about kindness and it's about thinking of other people. This week I've got some friends who were hosting some French students, and they needed to be out one evening, so they needed somebody to be indoors for the sake of these youngsters. You can't just go off and leave somebody else's youngsters in a house in a strange country on their own. And I felt so privileged because they asked me if I would go and sit in with these youngsters. And just that, you know, to be able to help somebody that cost me nothing other than a couple of hours of my time. But that's what I mean by paying it forward. It's doing a kindness, it's being thoughtful, it's just, for me, living a different life to the life I used to live when I was 22 stone and totally and utterly self-obsessed. I didn't care about anything outside of me then, well, other than food. It was all about me, what I needed, and it generally involved food. 99.9% of the time it involved food, because my mind just didn't go anywhere else. I didn't care about myself at all in a way that I would take care of myself. I just focused totally on food. And now I'm in a different place and a different body. I realise there's so much more to life than food. I really do. And yeah, it's just where I'm at this week, and that's what I'm here to share. I was in group this morning and I spoke, well, I was sitting with a lady I often sit with, who I named last week, a lady called Maureen, who's really lovely. And I spoke to a lady that I've never met before. I don't know how long she's been in group. She could have been around a year, but I've probably never spoken to her before. I go to a really big group. And the lady, in a really, really nice way, said to me, well, why are you here? She didn't say it in a like, why are you here or whatever. It was just she said it in a really sweet and polite way, but like, why are you here? And I thought, well, I'm not going to go into my whole story and that, because a lot of you have already heard this, and she's never heard it before, but, not to my knowledge. But it made me stop and think, why am I here? Why am I here? And I said to her, I need to be here. And she kind of like, but you're little, but you're slim, but you're what? And it was like, yeah, but I wouldn't be if I wasn't here. And it's really made me address this. It's been an ongoing thing during the week, really. It's really made me address, because I was looking at some stuff in a diary on my computer, and I realised today was 203 weeks at Slimming World, getting weighed in every week. And I don't say this to boast, I say it because it's part of my journey, it's part of my story, and it's really important to me. I haven't missed a weigh-in in 203 weeks. I've been very fortunate in that I've never had to miss through illness or unforeseen circumstances, and when I've not been in Nottingham, I've managed to weigh in somewhere else. And it's crucial to me, and I've been kind of examining in my head, especially since the lady said that earlier on in group. Am I obsessed with this? Do I go because I'm obsessed with having lost weight or still losing weight or whatever? And I don't think I'm obsessed. I don't think that's the right word. I think I am motivated by the results on the scales each week. And by that I mean motivated to stick to plan, to be on plan. And it's strange, after what I was saying last week about using those phrases, being on plan, being off plan, I can't think of a better way of saying it. I mean, I am on plan. Would I feel I was off plan if I chose to have a flexi meal today? No, I wouldn't. So I suppose that's where I need to drop saying off plan. I am on plan. But getting weighed every week, for me as a blind person, is what motivates me to stick to plan. I find as I move on in my journey, there are times when I can't stay to group because of circumstances, but I always will go and get weighed in, whatever the circumstances are, because that's my motivation. And I know, after speaking to someone in group this morning who hasn't been for a few weeks, that the place that lady was in with quite a sizable gain is exactly where I would be. Because if I said to you today, I'm not going to go and get weighed in for the next 4 weeks, or I think it's 6 weeks we can go between weigh-ins when we're at Target. Let's say 6 weeks then. I'm not going to go and get weighed in for the next 6 weeks, I don't need to. A, I'd be lying, because I do need to, and I know I need to. And B, in 6 weeks' time, where would I be? Stone and a half heavier? Stone heavier? I know I wouldn't be where I am today, because I would lose all motivation to keep going. One of the things a chap in group was saying this morning, and I totally appreciated and understood where he came from. He's back at group, he used to come to group a while ago. And he was in a position where one week he knew he'd had a gain because he'd been on holiday. And so he said to himself, I won't go away this week. I'll wait till I've got this gain off and go back next week. Now, hands up, apart from me, I'm putting my hand up. Who hasn't done that over the years? I've done it more times than I care to remember. And as he said, the weight kept creeping on because he didn't have the motivation. If he'd gone back to weigh in that first week when he knew he'd had a gain, and then just continued forward on plan, could have saved himself a lot of grief. And that's why I weigh in every week. And other reasons for me are the fact that being totally blind, I can't look at myself in the mirror and think, oh, what's going on in your face, Jane? Because I know with me that's one of the places it will go on. First, it goes on my bust or my boobs. Second, it'll go on my face. If I could look in the mirror, when I was putting my makeup on, which I don't, but if I, and I could look in the mirror and I could say to myself, what's going on your face? You've got chubby cheeks, or you've got another chin coming, or whatever. But I can't do any of that. And it's no good me going by how I feel all the time, because look at me last week, went to group last week feeling like I'd gained half a stone and I had lost. So feelings, what my head says, is often so much different to what my body says. And a few things I want to acknowledge really are like, we talk about several things in weight loss. We talk about weight gain being water gain. How many of us go and lose weight and say, I've lost 3 pounds this week, most of that will be water? But if I went in this week and I gained 3 pounds, I'd probably be standing here right now saying, I've gained 3 pounds, which I haven't, but I've gained 3 pounds, most of that will be water. That's me making an excuse. I know that I could put 3 pounds on in a week. I know that the chances are that would not be fat, because Joe is always telling me you need to eat 3,500 extra calories to gain a pound of fat. But I also know this week I had a 1 pound gain and I was 100% on plan. That's life at Target, you know? But I can't sit there and take it like, oh God, where am I? I've gained a pound. I've just got to keep going because it's a lifestyle. And there are so many things we do that I think are common to a lot of us, like the I've gained weight, it must be water. I would just love somebody to say in group as we go around the room, you know, I've had a 5.5 pound loss this week, but 4 pounds of that's probably water. We never say it that way round. We're very good, I'm very good at saying what makes my weight loss or my weight gain sound positive. And maybe that's sometimes a good thing, keeping it positive. I've heard so many excuses in group over the years. I've made more excuses than I've possibly heard. But you know, you hear people say, I can't do it because it's cold. People saying, I can't do it because it's hot. People saying, I can't do it because it's this, I can't do it because it's that. The focus for me, and weighing in every week, isn't about exercise, because some weeks I walk, some weeks I don't. This week I have had a reasonable amount of steps under my belt this week, but I've had a gain. Last week didn't have so many steps under my belt, had a loss. Can't rely on exercise. It is a part of the plan. We've got our Body Magic booklets, but it's not a crucial part of the plan, I don't think. I think for me it's what goes in here. Now this week I have had a 100% on plan week. 2 A's, 1 B, 15 sins. Well, I think I've averaged 14 actually this week. This is a result. I've got a 1 pound gain. But that's life, because tomorrow morning, if I got on the scales, I might have a ½ pound loss. It's, those scales don't know it's this time in your life every week. Of course we're going to go up and down a bit, and I think more so at Target. And it's about learning to love ourselves enough to say, I don't need to feel guilt because what I've done's been all right this week. I am well satisfied with how I've lived this week, and I am. But I'm not going to stand here and say I've had the easiest of weeks. Went out with a friend on Thursday night to do a bit of shopping in Morrison's, and I went to the pub and spent the whole night, honestly, wanting to eat Oreo eggs. You know those, like a cream egg size Oreo egg. Where on earth did that compulsion come from? If they'd come in boxes of a dozen, I could have bought a dozen and eaten the lot. It's just, sometimes I wonder whether it's something lacking, you know, your body's short of magnesium or something. I don't know, I'm not a scientist. But I do know that keep moving forward, keep overcoming those problems will keep me in the clothes I'm in today. I want to show you the top I'm wearing because, what's it say, Joe?
Saturday.
Saturday, which is what it is today.
And who bought it for you?
Joe did. I'm going to tell you the story behind it. Joe left work one day and he was walking up to get the bus or tram or whatever home. And he walked past Whistles, and in the window was this sweater. So he thought, that's Mum. I mean, he picks most of my clothes, to be honest. And he went in to buy it me, bless him. But they didn't have my size, did they, Joe?
No.
They only had extra small, which is a size 4-6. Don't think that'll ever be me. Let's chop me in half. And they had large, which is a size 16, 18, I think, in Whistles. So he came home and he said, oh, I wanted to buy you this sweater. It's really you. But they didn't have your size because I'm a size small. And so we looked on the website, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Still, they had extra small, they had medium, and they had...
large, wasn't it?
Large, yeah. So medium must be sort of 12, 14, I think, and large is probably 16, 18. and I needed the like 8-10 size. So we looked on the website, still didn't have it. And then the next day I had this brainwave and I thought, ring the store and ask them if they can find it in another store. And they did, and very kindly they found it in Islington in London. So I rang them, said, can we buy the jumper? Can you send it through to the Nottingham branch? And no, our computers are down, can't do that. But I got the nicest young girl who said straight away, I'll run to the post office with it in my lunch break. Didn't charge me for packaging, didn't charge me for postage, sent it first class to be signed for, and also knocked him an extra 15% off. Now it was down from 79 to 55 in the sale, so he was expecting to pay 55, and she sold it as for 38. So you did well there, didn't you? Yeah, you got it for like half price. And it's lovely, I'm just so comfortable. I love Clothes from Whistles, I love the fabrics that they use. And their stuff fits me because it's usually the right kind of length for me. Somebody asked me in my comments last week, and I read the comment, and then I needed to check the answer. And then when I went back, after I checked the answer, I couldn't find the comment. But somebody asked me in the comment last week, I had, I think, a navy and white striped top with like navy piping on it. And a lady asked me, where did I get my sweater from? And I've checked, and I'm sorry, but I can't find your comment to tell you, so I'll tell you on here. It was Laura Ashley. So, yeah. What else about my week? I've had neuralgia all week. Has anybody experienced neuralgia? I get it, so it kind of comes up your neck, into your face, into your ear, and up onto your forehead. And part of me at the beginning of the week, I thought, flipping heck, I've got toothache. No, it's not toothache, it's more in my face. Anyway, I was talking to a friend who's a nurse, and she said, you've got a specific kind of neuralgia, because you could trace it where it's going. So I started taking some painkillers, which is most unusual for me because I don't very often take tablets like that. But I haven't had any like side effects from them, because usually with me and painkillers it would be constipation, but I've been fine all week. So I can't put any weight going down to that. But yeah, it's been a funny week because it would have been very easy to skip meals because chewing was a bit like, oh, this is not comfortable. But I haven't. I've had my 3 meals every day, and I've had 2 or 3 pieces of fruit every day. And Joe found these gorgeous big blueberries in Marks and Spencer's. You get 500 grams for £5, and they are whoppers, aren't they, Joe? Really lovely, delicious. And actually, although that sounds expensive, it worked out cheaper than buying them in the supermarket, because in the supermarket they were like £2 for 120 grams. So it was cheaper to buy the big ones in Marks. The only problem with me is then I'll split a 500 gram pack down the middle and have 250 grams as a portion. That's not going to do me any harm. It's blueberries. And if fruit keeps me away from other sweet stuff, you know. What I like about blueberries, I think, is you can be popping them in your mouth the way you would Maltesers or Smarties, and they're sweet, and then all of a sudden you'll get one that's not so sweet. But I like the contrast. And that's one of the things I'm enjoying about fruit. You can't guarantee it's all going to be sweet. You get a lot of contrast in the flavours. So, yeah. Food-wise, really nice week. I'm still off the meat for Lent, but to be honest, I don't even think about it because I'm so into eating fish these days that it just doesn't register that I'm not eating meat. I could actually do with drinking more. I think I drink plenty, I mean more than plenty of coffee, but I think I ought to probably take up drinking squash or something. I think in the cupboard in the kitchen, I think I'm doing a lot of thinking, aren't I? In the cupboard in the kitchen we've probably got 3 different kinds of sugar-free squash. It just doesn't enter my head to drink it. I'm thinking again, I'm thirsty, make a coffee. It's habit, isn't it? But then, in all honesty, I'm not one of those people who's thirsty a lot. I'm never like, oh gosh, I'm gagging for a drink. We went in Costa yesterday, didn't we, with Dad, and I chose to have a diet Sprite. Now that I like, but I don't want to get into the habit of drinking fizzy pop, because with me that is a habit. It's not, I'm thirsty, I need a drink. It's fizzy pop. I think it's because we weren't, I'm thinking again. I'm going to say it's because when we were children we didn't have fizzy pop. My mum just didn't think it was good for us. And then at one point, probably in the late 60s, we had this guy who came round every week. We called him the pop man. And he came round in this like lorry every week, and he had all these different fizzy pops. And we were allowed to choose a bottle. Now there were 3 of us, and we took it in turns in rotation to choose one bottle. And looking back, I think the bottles were probably about a pint and a half, so not even a litre. And that bottle was what we got for the week. So when it was my turn, I used to choose Dandelion and Burdock, mainly because I liked it and I knew my brothers weren't keen, so I got more of it. My older brother used to choose ice cream soda because he knew I didn't like that, and my younger brother always chose fizzy orange. But between the 3 of us, we got 1 bottle for the week. And we also used to get 1 bottle of squash a fortnight, because my mum believed that you drank water. Maybe that's why I don't drink water today. I've always been a bit of a rebel, and it just doesn't do it for me. But I think maybe this week I will try to drink a little bit of squash. Nothing to get in the way as we go forward. We've got the dentist on Monday, but that's just a 6-monthly check. That's our only thing next week. That is set in stone, so we're pretty free to do what we like, apart from Joe's got work to go to. So I'm looking forward to moving forward. I'm not worried about having gained £1. I am still half a pound under my actual target. And that's got to be the perfect place to be. I like to be in the lower half of my target. But as I said the other week, I've got 13 numbers, and if I can't hit one of those numbers, I must be doing something wrong. When I say that, I'm talking about my journey. I know several people at the moment in my own group who are struggling to get back into target, and I have great respect for those people. But you know, something that's really struck me lately, I keep hearing this in group. People who've been at target for a while, and then for one reason or another, whether it's a holiday or circumstances, they gain, let's say, more than half a stone or even more than a stone. They struggle, all of them, not without exception, they struggle to get that chunk of weight back on again. And I hear so many people keep saying in group, it is so much harder this time round. Is that because we haven't got as much to lose? Is that because we haven't got as much motivation? Or is that because we've learned to relax a little bit at target? And so pulling it back to the place where we used to lose weight actually becomes really difficult, and we start to feel deprived. I listen to those things, I kind of relate them to myself, and I think to myself, Jane, the best solution is don't allow yourself to go there. Because whenever I've gained weight before, I don't gain half a stone. I gain stones. And I will stand here, hand on heart today, and say the thought of going back up and gaining stones absolutely petrifies me. And it petrifies me enough to make me weigh in every week and to make me want to stay where I'm at. It isn't because I find it easier than anybody else. It isn't because it comes naturally. This has been a 40-year battle for me. But I know in my heart of hearts that once I let it go, the chances of me getting it back are nigh on impossible because of my personality and my makeup and my defeatist attitude. So, yeah, I am going to keep fronting up every Saturday morning and getting on those scales. And people say, I don't want to be defined by a number. I don't care. People might look at me and they might see, oh, there's Jane, she's blind. I don't feel like I'm defined by the fact that I'm blind. I don't feel like I'm defined by the fact that I'm not very tall, by the fact that I'm in my 60s, by the fact that I've got grey hair. I don't feel that I'm defined by the fact that I wear a size 7 shoe. The only person who needs to know what I weigh on those scales is me. And if I choose to come on this public platform and put it out there and I say to you, today I am 8 stone 13 and a half, I tell you what, it's a hell of a lot better than the 22 stone I used to be. And if people want to define me by that, I honestly don't care. Because it's down to me whether I tell anybody, isn't it, what I weigh. if I'm prepared to have my tiny little YouTube channel, my couple of thousand subscribers, I feel like my YouTube channel's in the back corner of a YouTube cupboard somewhere, which is a lovely place to be.
Oh, sorry, you're at 25 minutes.
Yeah, I don't want a big channel. I'm not into social media really. I feel so privileged that I've got the guts as a blind person to stand up and do this every week, and that I've got the support of so many lovely people. But my tiny little YouTube channel, my going to group every week, my coming on here, my telling you what I weigh, if I don't want to be defined by what I weigh, then I shouldn't come on here and tell you what it is. I should keep it to myself, because apart from the woman on the weigh desk, who else needs to know? But I don't think people define me by my weight. You might look at me and you might think, oh, I bet she weighs about 10 stone, I bet she weighs about 9 stone, I bet she weighs about 8.5 stone. So what? You know? It's no big deal. But you might not even notice me in the street today because I am so normal and average looking, size-wise. Believe me, when I was 22 stone and I had an arse with a huge shelf above it, you'd have noticed me more. So I'm just grateful to be who I am today. Remember, if you want to be entered into the competition, give us your clothes size, give us your favourite colour. And next week we will draw a winner. The following week we'll show you what that winner's getting for their Easter gift. And it will be posted out to them, ready for Easter. Nicola, can I just say your book is in the post? Because I forgot to email you back. And that's it. That's been my week. It's been marvellous. I'm really happy to be alive today. And I'm so grateful to Slimming World. Remember, works if you work it, won't if you don't. We'll be back next week, whatever I weigh. Take care. Bye.